What's up everyone, Mr. NoobTube Gamer. Today we're playing Red Dead Redemption 1 in 2022. More specifically, the multiplayer for Red Dead Redemption 1. Because I'm sure most of you are familiar with Red Dead Redemption 2's multiplayer, Red Dead Online. But a lot of you may not be as familiar with the multiplayer portion for Red Dead Redemption 1. Since Red Dead 1 came out back in 2010, a lot of you watching this video were probably not even born yet when Red Dead Redemption 1 was released. Or you were very, very young and didn't get to play it back then, but you did play Red Dead Redemption 2, and you really enjoyed the single player of that, and, you know, maybe the multiplayer, I know there's a lot of mixed opinions about Red Dead Redemption 2's multiplayer. But either way, since Red Dead Redemption 2 is actually a prequel of the first game, a lot of people really enjoyed the single player of that game, but never played the first game, and want to see how the story continues in Red Dead 1, since it takes place after the epilogue of Red Dead Redemption 2, with John Marston building the house and getting his family back. With Red Dead 1, the story continues with John Marston, and, you know, it's a really good single-player campaign. I'm not sure which one I would say is better, honestly. I think they're both really close in terms of quality. I think I enjoyed both of them equally, Red Dead 1 and 2. So yeah, for the single player alone, Red Dead Redemption 1 is definitely worth it. Because even though it's been 12 years, I think for a game that came out in 2010, the graphics are still stunning. Gameplay holds up very well, all that. So you don't have to like go and play it and be like, oh my god, this game is so old compared to Red Dead Redemption 2. It really doesn't feel like that at all. The open world is very immersive, and honestly, I would say overall, I prefer the map of Red Dead Redemption 1 over Red Dead 2, even though Red Dead 2 contains a lot of the map of Red Dead 1. You know, like once you get through the campaign of Arthur Morgan and all that happens, you unlock this whole rest of the map. Well, that's a good chunk of Red Dead 1, but there's also Mexico, which for some reason they did not include in Red Dead Redemption 2. I thought Mexico was honestly the best part of the map for Red Dead Redemption 1. It was always so cool going back and forth between the US and Mexico. It was such a fun map, both offline and online. So yeah, when it comes to the online multiplayer, I'd say it's a very underrated part of Red Dead Redemption 1, because obviously the game is more known for a single player, as it should, because the single player is fantastic, as it is with most Rockstar games. But the multiplayer was also pretty damn good in its own right. Easily added hundreds of more hours of gameplay for Red Dead Redemption 1 for me. I easily spent way more time playing online than I did with the single player. And I would also say that Red Dead Redemption 1's multiplayer is easily a lot more enjoyable than Red Dead Online, than Red Dead Redemption 2's online. That's because my biggest problem with Red Dead Redemption 2's multiplayer was how many microtransactions and pay-to-win bullshit that you had in the game, between all the weapons and the horses and all that kind of stuff that just took forever to grind if you didn't want to put any more money into it. And then the prices, even if you wanted to put money into it, was just ridiculous, you know? Like, kind of like GTA Online, not on the same scale, because GTA Online had all this bullshit, these fucking flying jetpack motorcycles and all that kind of crap. Red Dead Redemption 2, you know, Red Dead Online was obviously not as advanced and not as ridiculous as GTA, because it is a Wild West game. It takes place, like, what, 100 years before GTA. But even so, I still found the microtransactions to be so intrusive and so annoying in Red Dead Online. But in Red Dead Redemption 1, you do not have any microtransactions at all. There is DLC, but the cool thing is that even if you don't have the DLC, you can still play, you just won't progress in any of the modes. So like they have gang shootouts, you know, they added a whole bunch of that with some of the DLC in Red Dead 1, and other stuff, land grab. I think that was part of the Undead Nightmare DLC. So, you know, there is stuff locked behind paid DLC, although if you do buy a copy digitally, the DLC is actually all included, except for Undead Nightmare. So, it really isn't a big deal. The DLC in Red Dead Redemption 1 is very accessible in 2022. But even if for some reason you don't have it, you don't have any access to it, you can still play all the missions they added for free. It's just you won't be able to level up or progress with that DLC content, but you can still play it, and you can play it with all your friends. So I think that was really good. I think the monetization was very generous for Red Dead Redemption 1 compared to Red Dead 2. And as far as the in-game unlockables, like the weapons and the horses and all that, that was all earned through in-game progression. There was no paid way to access weapons that you couldn't access otherwise, like it is kind of in Red Dead 2. In Red Dead 1, it's all based off of skill and all based off of leveling up. Everyone is on the same level playing field in that way. No one person can just drop $500 into the game, which, you know, surprisingly there are a lot of people that do that, spend all this money in the microtransactions and unlock all these weapons and have an inherent advantage over the other players that they didn't earn. In Red Dead 1, there's definitely a lot more merit to that. Like, you actually have to unlock everything that you earn, which feels very good. I actually like the fact that Red Dead Redemption 1 does not have a currency system or anything like that. They just put you in an open world with a bunch of other players. You can form a posse, you know, you can get together, play some co-op, do some hunting, or get into some PvP action, killing other players, whether it's in the open world or with the dedicated PvP modes like Team Deathmatch. They also have other game modes on top of that. And zombies, too. If you have the Undead Nightmare pack, you actually can do co-op zombies with some other players, and that's actually pretty fun. Not as good as Call of Duty Zombies by any means, but it's still a pretty cool game mode that you can play on top of everything else. And in 2022, you still have a pretty good online community, except for the hackers, which is actually a huge problem. I would say, like, half the time you get into an online session, you're gonna run into these motherfuckers that you shoot them and they'll never die. They're invincible. They can kill you over and over again, but you can't kill them. And that's honestly a big reason why I stopped playing. I don't really play it as much anymore, is because of that bullshit. Otherwise, I'd be playing a lot more than I do right now. So I would say because of just how many hackers there are, I can't say I'd recommend you play it online in 2022 because you will get very frustrated, trust me. But like I did say earlier, the game is worth buying just off the single player alone, so you might as well dabble with the online multiplayer, at least until the hackers ruin it for you and you never want to play again. But you could also do what I do a lot of the time, where as soon as I run into a hacker, I either transport to the complete opposite side of the map and hope they don't follow me and I can just do my thing and they won't harass me, or I just find a new free roam session, because there are enough players where you will find multiple free roam sessions full of players. So, you know, you can avoid the hackers, but it's just really annoying that they're there and ruin the experience for you, which is a shame because I had a lot of fun with Red Dead Redemption 1 over the years. There are a few moments in gaming as intense as when you get a bounty in Red Dead Redemption 1 by killing a whole bunch of lawmen, and another player is chasing you across the entire map trying to collect that bounty. I remember one time I was being chased from Chuparosa all the way up to Cochine, that Native American snow mountain area that Dutch was chilling in towards the end of the game. Spent a half hour just chasing me down, and then the final confrontation between us, and he finally shot me in the head and collected that bounty. I have so many fun memories with this game online. I just wish there weren't so many scumbags out there that cheat these old-ass games, ruin them where they're unplayable, like Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 and Red Dead Redemption 1. It's like these people have nothing else going on for their lives that they have to ruin 10-year-old games and make them unplayable for everyone. Nah, it is what it is. That's how it is with a lot of these old games, is that hackers ruined it, and you can't really get much out of it anymore. With Red Dead 1, I wouldn't say it's quite to the point where you can just not play it at all, and you might as well not even try it. Like, definitely try it out, but just be warned that there is a big cheating problem in the game, which sucks, but it is what it is, I guess. Anyway, that's it for Red Dead Redemption 1 in 2022. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about Red Dead Redemption 1, especially the multiplayer. What did you think of that? Because, you know, you hear so much about the single player, not so much about the online, even though the online was really good and a lot of fun. I would actually go as far as to say one of my best online experiences I've ever had. And I've played a lot of online games over the years, so yeah. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.